Okay, we're starting on the body, and what I've gone ahead and done is a drawstring cast on circularly, and then I've done 6 rows. And so after I've done the 6 rows of E-wrap, I want to go ahead and start on my purl row that adds my tail in. So according to my instructions, I need to purl 18. Okay, using the next 5 pegs, we're going to start on our tail, and we're going to do a series of short rows. So we're going to E-wrap 5 pegs, 4 rows. So this will be the first row. So it'll be row 1, two, 3, 4. Then we're going to do 3, 4, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5 pegs for 4 rows. So here's row 1, two, 3, and 4. Okay, we finished our tail, and I don't want to have to sew the tail up later, but if you don't like this section, you can skip it. But I don't want to have to sew the tail up later, so I'm going to bring my original loops back on. And what you want to do is you want to follow that line right there over to this loop here. And you're going to put that on the peg. Hold on. And that's where your original loop is. At that point, you follow the next one over, which will be that, and you'll see it pulls. And then that, and that. Just following the line, and then I toss the bottom loop over to get me back to one loop on each peg. Okay, And as you can see, there's your tail. Now you want to finish purling your way back to your starting point. And you're back at your starting point. Okay, at this point you'll want to go in and E-wrap 2 more rows, and then we will start on doing the light colored belly area. So go ahead and pause the video and do 2 rows of straight E-wrap, just regular E-wrap all the way around for 2 rows, and we'll come back and I'll start on the stomach. Okay, at this point, go ahead and attach your light blue. Do not cut your purple. And what we're going to do is E-wrap 12 in the light blue. Okay. Then we're going to come back around here and pick up the purple and go this direction and meet up with the blue on the other side. And stop. Now you kind of want to make sure your tail is going to be centered to the blue. So you want to pull down on your tail, and your tail is going to be in here. And here's your blue. Now if it looks center to your blue, because here's your tail area here, then you're good. So then you can go ahead and toss all these over. And this is going to be our first row. This is going to be our technique on how to do one half one color, the other half the other color, while not having to sew up the side. Okay, now we're where the 2 colors meet. And this is 1 row that we've just completed. And then when we go back and we meet on the other side, that's going to be the next row. So what we want to do is we want these to cross. So you want to take the blue up and under the purple, and then start E-wrapping back to the other side until the blue stops, which should be 12 pegs. And there it stops. Go ahead and toss your loops over. Then you want to pick your purple up and you want to wrap it all the way back to the other side when you meet up with your blue again. And then what you want to do at this point is you want to cross the blue back under the purple and then go back the direction you came. And this will be your third row, and then you come back. And you want to keep doing this for a total for 12 more rows, and then you want to cast off. So this side, and then there is 1, back and back is 2. So we've done 2 rows, so we're going to do the third, and then keep going until you have 12 more rows, and then you want to just cast off. And I would suggest casting off the blue in the blue section and the purple in the purple section. And then you want to stuff it, and then you want to close up the bottom. And that's basically how the body is done. And this will get started on the arms. Go ahead and pause the video to complete. Okay, when you finished up your body and you stuff it and you close up the bottom, this is basically what it should look like. And because I cast it off pretty much the way I did a row, coming back around here, I tied my tails together, and then you just stuff them in like that. So that's what your body should look like. And as you can see, it's a smooth seam between the colors with that fold. So now we want to start on our arms, and the arms and legs are going to be a little different, but they're basically done about the same way. This is a leg here. So what I've gone ahead and did is done a drawstring cast on of 20 pegs, and of course it's flat, and then I E-wrapped 4 rows. And you're going to do the same thing with the leg, except instead of the claw section, which I'm fixing to do on the leg, just purl this row. So the row we're fixing to do, you want to just purl on the leg. So with the arms, instead of like the leg just purling, we're going to do the claws. Now you can do the claws on the feet if you want, but I'm only going to do it on the arms. So I'm going to go ahead and add my navy blue, and I'm going to do short rows to create the claws. So I'm going to do the first 2 pegs, and I'm going to short row 5 rows. So there's row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then what you want to do is bring your original loops back on. So as you can see, you follow that there and go to the next peg and the next loop, which should be that one, and put it back on. And there you go. And then you'll toss the bottom loops over. And that is how you do a single claw. And as you can see, there's one of your claws. Now, what you want to do is you want to switch back to your purple, and you want to go in and you want to E-wrap 1. Then you're going to switch back up onto your blue, and you're going to do your 5 short rows in the next 2 pegs. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then you want to bring your original loops back, which means follow that loop right there to the next one, which is this one here. And go ahead and pull that back on. And toss the bottom loops over the top. And that's your second claw. Next thing you want to do is pick back up your purple. And you want to E-wrap 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Then you're going to pick back up your navy. And then you're going to go and work another claw. And the next 2 pegs here, 5 short rows. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you want to go in and bring your original loop back. Pick that loop up, put it on there, that on there. Okay. Next thing you want to do is change back to your purple. And you want to E-wrap 1, then switch back to your navy to short rows. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you want to take and bring those original loops back. Pick up your purple, E-wrap 1, pick up your navy, and do 5 short rows to complete your claw. Now the reason we're doing the claws split up on one half and then the other is because you want your indention in your hand to be on top. And if you do them all in one section, they're not going to be. So we want them in center and on top. Okay. You should have 5 claws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is one arm, and to do the other arm so that you have the 3 on the other side, instead of doing the 2 claws here, you do the 3 claws here, and then you wrap the 7 and then do 2. You basically just reverse the row so that you have the 3 claws on this side and then the 2 on this side. So you just kind of flip it. And that's how you do the other side, is you do the 3 claws here and then wrap 7 and then do the 2 here. So there's a 7 peg in between the split of the claws. Now that we've done that, we're going to take the purple and wrap that end peg. And then what we want to do is snip the navy, because we don't need it anymore at this point. And tie it off. Okay, at this point, you're going to just wrap back and forth the full 20 pegs for 4 rows. So go ahead and pause the video to do that, and then we'll continue on from there. Okay, we've done our 4 rows, and you can kind of see your claws a little easier. See, there's your 5 little claws. And just remember on that row to do the other arm, just flip-flop the 3 and the 2. That's it. So just do 3 on this side and then 2 on this side, but just remember there's 7 pegs in between the break between the 2 and the 3. Okay, and then you wrap 4 more rows, and you do the same thing on the leg after you purl, which is the same thing as your claw row, but you're purling the entire row. After you do that, you do 4 more rows too. And this next section, you're going to do the same thing on your leg. You're going to decrease by 1 on each end. And then wrap. Okay, and again, it's going to be the same thing on the leg as it is on the arm. Decrease again on each end. And then wrap. Okay, at this point you don't have to decrease anymore, and what you want to do is you want to just wrap regularly back and forth, and you want to do that for 12 rows for your arms and 6 rows for your legs. Yes, that means your arms are going to be longer than your legs. And then you're going to cast off. So At this point, do 12 rows back and forth on your arms, and then when you do your legs, do 6 rows, and then you'll cast off. Now I'm going to show you how I sew them up. Just going to move that to the side. I normally just draw string to where the bottom is just straight, but I'm actually drawstringing it to a circular look. So what I want to do is drawstring it together, because I doubled up my strands because I couldn't find a color in a bulky yarn this color. So I had to double my strands. And what I want to do is go in and pull one side through and tighten it all the way. And then knot it. And then you want to stretch out the top. And then you're going to want to sew up to that purled line. Then you're going to make sure the purled loops are together. Then you're going, after you do that, then you're going to sew down and make sure that your curve is together, and then sew all the way up to here. And then you stuff it, and then you should have a nice round end, and it should just have a general rounder effect with an indentation, so it should look something like that. And you do the same thing for the arms. You're just going to make sure that your claws are lined up when you go in and sew them together, like the purled line here. You just want to make sure that your claws are lined up on both sides. And so that's how you do the limbs, the legs, and the arms. And then go ahead and pause the video and complete your arms and legs, and we will assemble the entire purple alien. Okay, I went ahead and finished up all my limbs and everything and assembled my purple alien. And while you may think, well, I would have rather seen the process, it's actually fairly easy to explain how to put this little guy together. So what you want to do is go ahead and sew on your limbs. And what I've done is I've sewn the bottom legs starting from the line where the blue ends and the purple begins, and sewn it back and on that purled line. And I've done that on both sides, which should be pretty much right on the very side bottom of the body. And then when sewing the arms on, you want to find the ones that have the 3 sides, which are your thumbs, and if you look at yourself, they're inwards facing each other. And when you keep that in mind, make sure that that's how you sew which one on which. And when you sew them on, you want to line it up at the very top of the body and sew it right on the line where those 2 colors connect. And you want to do that on both sides. The only part that might be even a little tricky is sewing the head on. And what I did was I started with the back, and I sewed on the purled line here. I sewed the top of the purple section of the body right along the purled line of the head of the purple section together. So I followed this line and sewed it right on the top of the body and lined it up with that. And then when it comes to the front, I didn't follow the line of the purled, but instead I went in and sewed it at that halfway point where the purple back half and the light blue half kind of join. And so I sewed it from there over, and that gives you the chin area. So your gathered section, your drawstring section, should be where you sew right across that, so straight across there. And then what I did for eyes, and you can do foam or you can felt in your eyes, but I chose to go in and take some melted down pony beads and file them into shape. Now, yes, the original, the eye part was bigger, but we shrank it down to individualize it and kind of remove that trademark appearance while still keeping with the idea and general look. So this little guy is done. It's made. And so now you've seen the process from beginning to end on how to create a pattern from scratch.